सर्वावस्थाविवर्जितम् सर्वदेवं सर्वमतं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे ईक्षणात्रयविद्वंसम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Welcome you all with my love and respects. Before entering into the sutras, today's aphorism, I want all of you to just sit for a few seconds, sit straight and just prepare yourself, because today's subject is my very favorite subject. Maybe for a few seconds, you can close your eyes and pray to Mahadeva, Shiva, and the tradition of enlightened masters, enlightened beings, to give us this understanding. Because this understanding about which I am going to talk gave me the courage to leave the home. So take few seconds. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guruparamparam. Yes. Usually this stotra is chanted just to correct your voice and tone. But the moment I remember the Guru Parampara, the tradition of masters, my voice is choked. Today's subject is Maya. The content is Maya. Very important word in our spiritual tradition. Very important thing to be understood for anybody who wants to live the life blissfully. Anybody who wants to live basic understanding. Actually, many times, the young age I used to think I should leave the home, go around, live a sannyas life, learning and working towards enlightenment. But always that, why today, why not tomorrow? Little later, that's okay. What is the urgency to take the jump immediately? That always used to come and I was always postponing. The decision was never made. It was just going. Suddenly, one day, when I was reading one of the Shankara's work on this Maya, somehow the concept clicked. As I was telling day before yesterday, the clicking should happen. Just reading or learning also won't help. Sometimes that click happens. You understand much more than what is written in the book. You see, if you are just reading and understanding the meaning of all the words according to the Oxford Dictionary, it is reading. Suddenly, sometime, the understanding which comes from that words opens up a new door and all your doubts starts disappearing. The whole puzzle falls in tune. Everything suddenly appears more clear. That click has to happen. That click happened in me when I studied the truth, that idea of Maya. The moment the click happened, I was ready not only to leave the house, decided to live like a Shankara. So the first place I ran away is the place where Shankara became enlightened. It's called Omkareshwar, where Shankara met his master, Govindapada, in a cave. But of course, I was too small boy. I didn't think that there will be nobody in that cave. Now, actually, when I understood that Maya, the concept of Maya, it gave me so much of joy and courage to do anything. I decided I will live like a Shankara. Shankara left the home at the age of 7 and wandered and reached Omkareshwar, Madhya Pradesh, on the banks of Narmada. He met his guru, Govindapada, in a cave, and by his grace and a meditation, he became enlightened on the banks of Narmada. So I was thinking, at least somebody from Shankara's lineage will be sitting in that cave. So I can go and catch them and become enlightened. Maybe around the age of 15. So I left the home, went and straight inquired about that Omkareshwar and reached that place. Of course, the cave was empty. Only his murti his statue is there. Even though it was shocking in the initial level, that cave is empty, nobody is there to teach. Somehow, this one understanding of Maya gave so much courage to continue my practice. Stayed there for some time, and of course, because there is nobody else to guide, I started wandering and even came back to the native place once, and then, of course, my wandering continued, my search, everything continued. But this one understanding gave me such big push. It opened a big door in me. Today, the moment I saw the sutra, I was so filled with a joy. Oh God, today there is going to be a wonderful subject. Usually before coming to the class only, I'll just see the sutra. What is today's sutra? The moment I saw the sutra, I was filled with joy and energy, because I am trying to reproduce the same understanding and experience which happened in me. Understand, there is every possibility you will catch the glimpse. I am not telling you will run away from a home. No. I am not saying you will leave your home or go to Omkareshwar. No. You will have the same energy and excitement and liberation, the mood of liberation, when you realize this truth. See, I had tremendous energy to do what I want to do further in my life. So you will also have the same tremendous energy when you understand this truth about Maya. when you understand the truth about this Maya. So, let's enter into the Mahadeva's Sutra, Mahadeva's aphorism. Let me read the translation. Illusions deceive, colors subscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look and become Shiva. The word Maya cannot be translated into English. Usually the word Maya is translated as illusion in English. Illusion is not the right word. No. Illusion is not the right word. Thinking the lesser reality as the higher reality is what we call Maya. Understand? If you think your dreams are reality, you are caught in Maya. If you think this is your ultimate reality, you are caught in Maya. That's all. This is not illusion. What you are seeing, you can't say this is illusion. No. This is not ultimate. Your understanding this is ultimate is illusion. Vivekananda says beautifully, when he was given the first experience by Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna touched him and gave him the first experience. When enlightened masters touch you, the downloading of the enlightened software can happen in you. Straight away they can download that software into you. You don't even have to agree. Understand? You don't even need to give your concern. Straight away they can open your being. And actually, it is nothing more than chewing a bitter leaf for them. Your mind is nothing more than a chewing bitter leaf. Just they can chew and spit one corner. So Ramakrishna gave that experience and he said one word, everything is Maya. Suddenly such big opening in Vivekananda's being. He says, I was walking in Calcutta. He is going back from Ramakrishna's temple where Ramakrishna was staying, Dakshineswar temple to his home. He says, on the way there are many pillars in the road. I went and hit my head to see whether they are all really real, whether they are all staying. Because I felt whatever is in front of me is not as I always used to think. Let me tell you this story. This story will throw a new light. One day, early morning, a Zen master comes out of his bedroom and starts crying. Usually, Zen masters are known for their joy and bliss. They are very joyful, radiating, and very blissful beings. Somehow, even in Hindu tradition, we lost a little bit of bliss in the name of peace. The problem is only the old fellows became swamis. Now really, when everything is over, when there is no life or energy to even to laugh, that's why now the bliss part is little missed by the Hindu tradition. Of course, it is there, but the Zen, they kept the whole thing alive. The Zen is not only just peace, it's intense silence, not just dead silence. They are known to be very joyful. That's why even their God, they have visualized laughing Buddha. Only Zen people are courageous enough to worship laughing Buddha. Just laughing all the time. All the time in joy. But unusual. This is a very unusual thing, a Zen master coming out of his bedroom and crying. All his 10,000 disciples gathered around him. The Zen masters live with a huge group. 10,000, 20,000. Nothing less than 10,000. And all his disciples gathered. They asked, what happened? Why are you crying, master? You are an enlightened. You are a Buddha. Why are you crying? He said, no, yesterday night I dreamt that I became butterfly and started flying all over. Disciples said, that is okay. It was just a dream. Now you are all right. Why are you crying about that? Why are you bothered about that? Leave it. He says beautifully, understand? He says, no, I don't know whether I dreamt that I became butterfly or that butterfly is dreaming now that it has become a master. Understand? This word looks very funny, but this is the key. This is the key to open. He says, I do not know whether master dreamt he became butterfly or the butterfly is dreaming that it became master. Actually, we don't know. There is no scale that you are sitting and listening to me. I may be dreaming that you are all here listening to me, and you may be dreaming that you are sitting here and listening to me. Sometime when you plan and decide to go somewhere, but you have 20 minutes, so you think, let me have a good nap, a small nap, and you lie down in your couch or sofa, you will be dreaming already you are in that spot. You will be dreaming already you are in that spot. There is every possibility in 10 minutes you may wake up and you will be sitting in your house. You don't know. There is no scale. There is no scale. You may think, no, I can pinch myself and see. I am sitting here only. No, in dream also you can pinch yourself. And you may say, no, my friend is here, who is from different area. He is also seeing you, I am also seeing you. Maybe with that I can confirm that I am in reality. No. In your dream also you can see your friends. Understand? In your dream, if you, your family, all of you are in Delhi. For example, you are dreaming, you and your whole family is in Delhi. So all of you will see the same Delhi. Because even your family people are your own projection. Same way, there is every possibility people who are sitting next to you can be your projection in your dream now. There is no scale to prove you are not dreaming. You are not dreaming. When I first read this Zen story, it was a very shocking revelation. Yes, true. We don't know. But your unconscious is not ready to believe. No. I know. I drove my car. I know where my house is. No, this Swami is talking too much. Your unconscious doesn't want to leave that hold. Even though for a moment you think, yes, we don't know whether we are dreaming or in a waking state. You just console yourself. No. I know, I can go back to my same house. I have all my safe things. I have everything secured. No, this can't be dream. I am okay. Relax. If you accept or start working on the reality whatever you see can be Maya, it feels as if the ground on which you are standing is opening or giving way, is taken away. It feels too much. So you don't want to explore, you don't want to think about it. You don't want to remember it. There is a beautiful sutra in Brahma Sutra, the first sutra of Brahma Sutra. It says, Atato Brahma Jignasat. Let us inquire into the reality. Let us inquire into the truth. Beautiful sutra. It says, only a courageous person who is ready to go behind wherever truth leads can enter into this science. Understand? I was thinking, why in the Vedic tradition anybody wants to become enlightened has to leave their home? They have to become homeless. No, really, they have to become homeless. It is a basic condition for enlightenment. You can't be in your hometown. You have to start wandering, studying. That's a basic condition. Sometimes I wondered why our Vedic masters have put this as a basic condition. Because if you stay in one place and do research and experience, you can teach to so many people. All major religions, which is catching the majority of the planet Earth, which has got largest followers, they all have a permanent address. But uprooting a person from his permanent address is the basic condition for the Vedic tradition. I thought that's very impractical. I think wrong marketing strategy. I really thought about it. Very wrong marketing strategy. Then I realized our tradition is not created for marketing. It was created to create the product. People who have put their energy in creating product never bothered to market it. People who are working on marketing never bothered to create a product. Anyhow, what to do? It's very strange. In the Vedic tradition, the moment you want to do the research on the truth, you are asked to be homeless, because to enter into the ultimate truth, you need to have the courage to go behind wherever it leads. It may suddenly give you, open a new door to you. You must be able to go into the door, only then you can see the next door. It needs courage. That is why becoming homeless or just exploring the truth into the deeper and deeper level has been made as a compulsory basic value for anybody who wants to explore the reality, explore into the truth. And the whole society was created for this kind of a lifestyle. That is why in India, any village you can go, you can survive, you will get food, stay with respect if you have this cloth, that's all. They won't even ask you name. All you need is 3 meters this cloth. Nothing else. Nobody will question your name, background, nothing. This cloth, if you know a few words logically to speak, it's okay. Otherwise also no problem, you can say Mauni Baba. Silent Baba. You can do what, you can be as you feel. You will receive food, shelter, with respect. Understand, that is the beauty. They won't even eat and then give you. They will give you, only then they will eat. The whole society was created for this kind of a research and development. It was just amazing that every village knows the concept of sadhu. There was no mass communication system, there is no television, there is no other mass communication system, but the whole country knows the sadhu system, the sannyas tradition. If you have this cloth, you can survive anywhere in India. You will not be looked down. That is the main thing. Here when you see a homeless guy, how you look with pity or sympathy, you will not be looked like that. People will look at you with respect. You will look at them with sympathy. Poor guy, still caught in the family. Grihis, suffering. That's surprising. That whole society was created for this kind of understanding and learning and research and development. Of course, only with that courage you will be able to explore into this truth. Because today I am going to take you step by step into the basic realities. Whatever you think as basic reality, time, space, length, breadth, depth, whatever you think as reality is made out of same stuff in which your dreams are made. Understand? In your dream, out of which stuff, length, breadth, depth, time, space is made, the same wax, same mold, same material, this, what you see as a reality, is also made. Let me first answer all the questions which can come in your mind, because I know the frequently asked questions. And we always think, no, we can ask much better questions. We are not that intelligent. All questions which we will have in our mind can be classified in just one or two categories. Over. Nothing else is required. Nothing else is required. But only one thing required: courage to go behind the enquiry. Courage to go behind the truth wherever it leads. If you become fanatic, understand, you are always taught, programmed wrongly. If you are a religious guy, you will become fanatic. I say no. If you are irreligious, to be a communist, you need to be fanatic. To be irreligious, you need to be fanatic. To be inquiring into the truth, to be a person of a spiritual seeker, you can't be fanatic. Only a person who is not ready to look into the truth, means materialistic, only he will be fanatic. That is why in the Vedic tradition we say, anybody who is ready to look into the truth should be completely open and courageous to go behind, wherever it may lead. In those days, we had a beautiful system. When somebody becomes enlightened, he will go around and sit with all other scholars, pandits, learned people, and he will open up his understanding. The other person will open up his understanding. Whoever can take the other person to the deeper level of understanding will follow him. That's all. That is what was the condition before Shankara and Mandana Mishra started their vada, their argument. Mandana Mishra says, If you take me to the deeper level truth, then I know I will become your follower. If you take me to the deeper level, if I take you to the deeper level truth, then you know you will become my follower. That's all. Understand, there is no arrogance. There is no violence. There is no arrogance, there is no violence. The only tradition which never used sword or bread to convert people. We neither used bread nor used blood to convince or convert people. It was such a loving interaction. And you know the beauty. Who is the judge? Mandana Mishra's wife. Shankara is the person who is choosing the judge. He says, I know your wife is very honest. Let her be the judge. Then understand, you can't even call this as an argument. You can only call this as an opening up. If it was an argument, if it was with vested interest, you can't put your enemy's wife. Of course, I don't know whether Shankara thought enemy's enemy is friend. Then Mandana Mishra wouldn't have agreed. But Mandana Mishra also agreed. Let Sharada is the name of the Mandana Mishra's wife. Let Sharada be the judge. It was such a beautiful opening. Both of them are helping, leading the other person to the deeper and deeper levels of truths. Means both of them are courageous enough to explore the truth. And this lady judge, who was appointed as a judge, you should see her intelligence. She says, you see, both of you are seekers. If you don't have vested interest in your understanding, if you are open to learn further, you will not have vengeance. If you have vengeance, you will be fanatic, you will be caught with your vested interests, you will not be open to learn further. Now I have to declare, whoever is sitting here with vengeance has failed. Now how to find out who is sitting here with vengeance and who is sitting here with a true seeking? She says, I'll put two garlands made out of same kind of flowers. Whose garland dries first? Means if you have vengeance, your body will radiate a kind of a heat. Flower cannot stand. Flower can't stand that heat radiated by vengeance. Understand? All your emotions will radiate a kind of a fever in your body. Whether it is anger or vengeance or fear or greed. That is why when you are caught in lust, you will see a different temperature. When you are caught in fear, when adrenaline release happens in your system, you will see a different temperature. She knows this flower can't stand the heat created by vengeance. So she creates two garlands, puts it on both the persons. She says, now start. If you are true seekers, you will never lose your balance. You will never become violent. You will not use aggressive words in your talking. You will only be healing. You will only be very healing. Understand? A true seeker will only be radiating healing. He will only open up, try to help the other person to go to the deeper levels of reality. It was such a beautiful space. After 3 days, 3 days, two persons can sit and argue without losing the temper. Just imagine. I don't think any of us can manage 30 minutes. If it is your family or spouse, not more than 3 minutes. If he's a new guy and if it is a business transaction, there is a possibility for 30 minutes. That is also maximum. If he is also expecting a big gain and you are also expecting a big gain, you may be able to keep your patience for 30 minutes. Otherwise, I don't think there is any possibility. 3 days, both the guys are so cool, completely collective, centered. Not a single moment, single word expressing violence, expressing anger or vengeance. Means what? Completely they are ready to go behind the truth. They are ready to go behind the truth. Pure seekers. Understand? Here they are gambling with their life actually. If Mandana Mishra fails, he has to leave his wife, and Mandana Mishra already had 10,000 disciples. He was a guru, he was a master by himself. He was a guru on his own right. He has to now tell his 10,000 disciples he was a master without complete knowledge. Where he will keep his face? That is the worst death. It is much worse than death. He has to now lose his whole base. And the same way Shankara also already had enough of disciples, followers. And if he is conquered or if he loses, he has to give his whole life. At least Mandana Mishra is little old. He was around 60. He may live only few more years. But Shankara was very young, his whole life. He has to serve Mandana Mishra and his wife. And for a Swami to serve a Grihi is too much. The whole life is at stake. They are gambling with life. But even they are ready to gamble with their life, but they are ready to only seek. They are ready for truth. They are not ready to use even little violence or vengeance for some vested interests. They are ready to explore the truth. And the story says, after 3 days, one flower, only one flower in Mandana Mishra's garland dried up. So at one corner, unconsciously, a little bit of vengeance came out of Mandana Mishra. Sharada declared, "You are lost." Sharada declared, the wife declared, "You are lost." Still, in one corner of your mind, you have vengeance. Means, you have some vested interests in what you believe. As long as you have vested interest in what you believe, you can't be a real scientist. You see, you can't be a real scientist if you already signed contract with the marketing agencies. No. If you already signed your contracts with the companies who are funding you, who have their own vested interests, you can't be a true scientist. If you have vested interests, you can't be a true seeker. Sharada declares, yes, now you have lost. He won the argument. Now you are supposed to follow him. Then Mandana Mishra becomes disciple of Shankara, and the story goes that then Shankara has to fight with Sharada also, means argue, not fight, argue with Sharada also and convince her also. She also becomes disciple and both of them follow. It is on Sharada's energy. He created the Sringeri Peetam. And Mandana Mishra was the first Acharya. He became Sureshwar Acharya and he became the first Acharya. See, what we need to understand from this story, courage to go behind the truth, wherever it leads. If you can just open that courage, this understanding, the few things which we will explore today from this Shiva Sutra can open new doors for you. If you understand this clearly, you will have the courage. If you have little courage, you will have understanding. It's like a vicious circle. Who will start first? All right, I'll start from my side first. I'll give the understanding. Let you add courage to it. There is every possibility. Instead of being caught in vicious circle, you can be caught in virtuous circle. Vicious circle leads to more and more bondage. Virtuous circle leads to more and more liberation. Let's enter into the sutra. Illusions deceive, colors circumscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look becomes Shiva. To explain this great truth of Maya, our masters have used few beautiful examples. One is called Rajyusarbanyaya. In Sanskrit they call Rajyusarbanyaya. Means, sometime when you are walking alone in the dark, the problem is in this country you never walk alone in the dark. Always you are safe, not like Indian villages where the regular routine, it's a part of a regular life. Walking alone in the darkness and all is a part of regular life. When you are walking in the dark, alone, if there is a rope lying in front of you, the first thought will be snake. Not only that, at that moment only you will feel as if that rope is moving, the edge of the rope is moving in the air. For a few seconds, your whole body will be flooded with adrenaline. You confirmed it, it's a snake. And you are ready to jump or to kill. If you have some stick or something, you will try to kill or you will try to run away. After a few minutes, suddenly if you look little deep, with a little patience, let me see what it is. Then you realize it is a rope, not snake. It is just a rope, not snake. This is a very common experience which happens in our life. With this one story, one example, in Vedanta, they will explain the whole Maya truth, the truth about Maya. See, because your hormones, your engrams, your samskaras wanted to see, it was seen like a snake. Because of its fear, because of its too much of greed towards life, or what you think as life, you saw that object as life-threatening object. And the moment you had little patience to look, it again becomes snake. One more thing, for those few moments when you are caught in fear, the rope was really snake for you. Even though it is not snake, it was snake for you. Same way, when you are caught in fear, when you are caught in greed towards what you think as life, this whole world, even though it is a rope, it will look like a snake. Your constant fear that the whole world is waiting to cheat you is because of your fear. Understand? If you can't trust anybody, if you can't open up, if you are suffering with a deep loneliness, if you feel you are not able to trust anybody, it is just because you are too much greed towards what you think as life. Whatever you think as life, you are too greedy about it. Too much greed. That's the reason we can't see the simple rope in the world. We constantly see the snake. Constantly we are seeing the snake. They call it Rajju Sarba Nyaya. If you look little deep, every step in your life you will be seeing snakes on the rope. Every step you will be seeing snakes. All kinds of snakes. Not one snake or two snakes. All kinds of snakes. There are few questions. Let's explore those questions. Then I'll go further, deeper level of what Shiva says, this technique. I was talking about this dream state and the waking state being one and the same. You may have a question, Swamiji, in the waking state, whenever we come back to the state, we have same house, same car, same wife, same life. It is not different. But in the dream state, whenever you go back to the dream state, it is different. Every day, you have a different house, you have a different farm, you have a different car, you have a different lifestyle. Maybe with this we can say, dream is a dream and reality is reality. It looks very intelligent, but not. The question looks very logical and very intelligent, but it's not. Because the very concept of time is dependent on your mind. Understand? The very concept of time is dependent on your mind. I'll just put a diagram and explain to you how this question is not logical, or this understanding is not logical. Sometimes I used to be surprised. All these things we can talk now because scientists claim our brains are so-called developed. Even the size of the brain has become bigger in last 300 years. You know that? Average size of a human brain has become bigger in last 300 years. And so we may think that we are more intelligent, or our IQ level has become high, and all these things we can analyze and understand. But 5,000 years ago, they were able to understand all these things and reproduce this understanding to the whole country, whole civilization. Just today I was talking to one of our devotee, and I was telling the stability of the society, the stability of the society. One of our devotee, she was a doctor, she was telling me, Swamiji, here, when somebody falls sick, even family people don't bother. They just dump him in the hospital. Very rare, the family people stay with the patient and take care. More than 70%, they just go for their job. The stability is very less, Swamiji. I was thinking, even after so many cultural invasion, if Manu is the first person who created constitution of Vedic tradition, he is the person who declared the Vedic constitution, means the Smriti, lifestyle. If he comes back, I think he must be 10,000 years old, at least. If he comes back to the Indian village, even today he will feel homely. He will feel homely. You may criticize so many things. I have heard enough of criticism on Manu. You may criticize any way, but one thing, he can stand for 10,000 years as meaningful personality. Unimaginable. 10,000 years, somebody can influence 1 billion people for one kind of a lifestyle, then understand the intellectual depth or the thinking he would have had, he would have done it, or the clarity, just unimaginable. 5,000 years ago, the things which we are discussing now, these deeper questions, the deeper truths, not only they understood, they created methods to reproduce it. They have created methods to reproduce it. Sometimes I used to wonder, because only last 2 decades after Einstein, the science started accepting that nothing can be certain. Till then, these guys were standing on a point, everything is certain. Only after Einstein, they came to a little bit of senses to tell, yes, when you go deep, nothing is in order, everything is chaos. Maybe out of chaos you can make an order. But what we understand as order in materialistic world does not exist. The more you go deep, everything is liquid. There is no certainty. 5,000 years ago, Shankara is very clearly explaining the Maya, the theory of uncertainty, understanding the levels of illusion and transcending the illusion, seeing the reality. It's a very beautiful truth, even though may look little boring, because anything which needs your attention, you feel bored. Understand? Anywhere you need to do little bit of working, you feel little, enough, okay. If I am just telling some Rama Katha or Bhagavata Katha or some Krishna Leela, you don't need to think much about it. Then you are okay. If I am just telling you some stories, you don't need to think much about it. You know Rama only will go to forest, Sita will be kidnapped, Hanuman will go to Lanka, Sita will be brought back, and Rama will have coronation. You know the whole story. And for 1 or 2 sessions you can even sleep. Nothing will be missed. That is why at least 40% of the people sleep in Ramakathas. Any katha you go, there will be 40%, I can say, sleeping. Another 40% almost off. And this 20% must be sleep disorder. People with some sleeping disorders who can't sleep. 40 will be already in the sleeping mood, and the remaining 40 will be almost sleeping, and the 20 with sleeping disorder. No, because how many times you listen the same story? Rama will go to the forest and Hanuman. Same story. Sometime I have seen, not only the Acharya sits in the same place, years after years, disciples also settle down in the same place. No, last year Ram Katha, this was my seat. And it becomes a ritual. You don't need to do much. And there is no need for you to apply anything directly in your life. Sometimes from these kathas, people understand dangerous things or catch dangerous ideas. No, really. One Vyas is the person who teaches. He is considered as a Vyas. He is called, that seat is called Vyaspeta, and he is called Vyasdeva. Whoever teaches. He was telling the story of Harishchandra. Harishchandra is a great king of India who lived for Satya, truth. He spoke only truth. At one point of his life, he has to sell his wife and kids to fulfill his words, just to hold on to the truth. Such powerful sacrifice, such great king. This Pandit told the story very beautifully. Then I asked one person, what did you learn from this katha? That guy said, even if I die, I should speak truth. That's what I learned. He said, right. He asked the other guy, what did you learn? Oh, I understood, for emergency you can sell your wife. Very dangerous. Because directly nothing much needs to be applied. Just sit and listen. Very dangerous, these kathas. There you don't need to think much, so it may not be boring. It's more like an entertainment. But here, you need to think a little bit. Please understand, even if you think, even if it is a little boring, it will be worthy. It will be worthy. Lot of things can become clear. Not only that, this one idea is the reason for the strong mental structure of the people from the Vedic tradition. See, wherever these Indians go, wherever around the world, they create so much of wealth and good name. The other day, one devotee was telling me, if you are a Patel, no bank will ask for any guarantee signature. No, really. No, all the Patel meetings, all these bank fellows will be standing and saying, please take loan, take loan. Because Patels believe declaring bankruptcy is sin. They don't declare bankruptcy. It is part of their religion. They are so honest. Understand? Wherever these guys go, they create so much wealth. So much of that honesty, the idea that they are honest is understood by the society. And not only that, this country, Indians are less than 1% population. They pay 10% of this country's tax. Richest minority. And one of my Swami went to Africa just a week ago. He came back. He was there for 3 months. He says he was there in Nairobi. 80% of the economy or the business is in the hands of Patels. No, the reason is, understand this one truth. This one truth, understanding about Maya, if this is clearly programmed in your inner software, you will never fall in depression. Even if you have a low mood, you will come back by next day morning. This is automatic clearance. Or I can say, this one truth, if it was clearly inscribed, engraved in your personality, it will become mantra. Understand, there is only one difference between mantra and samskara. Both are engraved memories inside your inner space. The engraved memory which binds you, which creates more and more suffocation, is samskara, engram. The engraved memory which liberates you, again and again brings you out of depression, self-healing engraved memories are mantras. This understanding can become mantra in you. Not only it can bring you out of depression, it can bring you out of physical diseases. Understand, when I say I am responsible for those words, understanding whatever is happening inside you and outside you is Maya can completely heal you. It can just reboot your inner software. You will be ready for the fight with a full courage and energy. Just a simple technique. If you have stomach pain or headache, any disorder in the body, just lie down and say, it is Maya. You may think, what is this? When I have pain, only I know it is there. He is telling me it is Maya. Do not put more energy in believing it is there. Just put more energy in believing it is not there. You will see miracles in your life. How many times you repeat the pain is there and how many times you repeat it is Maya, that is going to play the result on your body. If you are programmed to repeat, no, the pain is there, suffering is there, he may tell, he doesn't have, that is why he is telling. One side your mind will be standing and arguing, and just you stand in the other side and argue. Or don't even bother. And you know how to be just sitting without bothering. If I give you one example, sometime when you are angry with your husband or wife, you will be sitting inside the house in the living room on the sofa. He or she will be standing in the kitchen and shouting. Do you listen? Can't you answer? At least tell yes or no. What should I do? Tell that at least now. I can't take it up anymore. This is too much. Tell, what should I do? I'll do that. You can't get any answer out of that person. Now I think all of you know. All of you understand what I mean by not bothering the mind. Just sit. Don't respond, neither positively nor negatively. Even if you open your mouth and say one word, that is enough for the other person to create fight. He can start, oh, it means this is not the thing? Then do you mean I am that? Then what do you mean by this? He can develop. And if you don't open at all, nothing can be done. He will be just dying. And he can't even tell anything because you are not telling anything. See, if you open your mouth and tell, he can come up with some of his own additions, appendix, something, and add or delete or make masala and give his own meaning and get you out to get into the fight. The dialogue is possible. Now you say, what can be done? You can't do anything. Same way, when your body says, I have this pain, I have that pain, I can't do this, I can't do that, just visualize the same scene. I think all of you can visualize this scene very clearly. I don't think anybody who can't visualize this scene, just sitting in sofa, tell your body, it is Maya. It is Maya. 3-4 times your mind will aggressively argue with you. No, I have pain. What are you talking, Maya? That Swami has started some nonsensical ideas and you are coming and working all those things on me. And you are experimenting all those things on me. Your mind will talk all these things aggressively for first 3-4 minutes. Just sit. Don't even argue with your mind. Just sit and be very clear. Including your mind and body, both are Maya. With closed eyes, you will be able to do this very clearly. Suddenly you will see such a big shift in your energy. Understand? Such big shift in your energy. The other day, to one of the devotee in this country I was talking, casually I mentioned my father passed away. He is around 50. My mother is also around 50. Immediately the devotee asked me, will she marry once more or she should not? What about the next step? I was actually shocked because in India you can't even think. Nobody even thinks, especially after 45, 50 and all. Nobody will have the idea of marrying once more. But here, that person was telling me as if I am doing a big sin by not getting her married once more. By not advising her to get married once more. And I just can't imagine that after that age, she will, or in India they will think of getting married once more. Why I am telling this? That living with one person, there are so many things I can say. Living with one person, coming back from the depression, ready to face any big imbalances or unexpected situations, the power to recoup, all these things are inside you just because of this one concept, Maya. If this one concept, Maya, is understood logically by you, no suffering can make low curve in you. The low curve will disappear from your life. If you are going through too many low curves, this is the solution. You don't even need to practice this. Just understanding is enough, because if you understand clearly, fire will burn, that is enough, you will not put your hand. You don't say, no, I understand fire will burn, but even then I want to put my hand once in a while and see. No. If you understand Maya clearly, suddenly you will see such big liberation. Liberation. And one more thing, in India, still I know people who are billionaires living such a simple life. Actually, the spending is very less with Indians. That is also again just because of this idea Maya. Of course, now the cities are changing, that is different. The society is not consumeristic. My last check should bounce, the idea does not exist. Last check should bounce, idea does not exist. They will enjoy whatever they need, the remaining thing will be there. And it's not that whatever you have should be blown away. It is just because this concept of Maya. When you understand this, so many things, so many new qualities will be added to you. I am not saying these qualities are right or wrong and all those things. That and all is secondary. Right or wrong and all those things. I can say one thing for sure. Your physical illness and mental illness will drastically reduce. Will drastically reduce. The early morning depression will disappear if you sleep with the concept of Maya in your head every night. Every night when you go to sleep, when you fall asleep, if you remember, you are rewinding like a spider net. How the spider creates a net and lives. Same way, you also have created this net of Maya. And if you realize, now it is time for sleeping, you are taking the whole thing back to you and fall asleep. Next day morning, you will not have depression. You will not have the pressure which you feel when you wake up from the bed. Now as on now, when you wake up from the bed, first thing, there will be 100 files on your head. This has to be done, that has to be done, this has to be done, that has to be done, this I have to answer, that I have to answer. I don't know how I am going to handle my day. One more day, oh God. Half of your energy is over. Your energy is over. With this concept of Maya, with this understanding of Maya, you will wake up without depression. You will wake up without pressure on your head. One more thing, with understanding of this Maya, you will radiate so much of grace. You will radiate so much of grace. The science of the Indian Samudrika Lakshana means that in India there is a science. Based on your body structure, they will tell your inner software. Just seeing your hardware, your outer space, they will tell your software. The quality of your mind, they will be able to predict to a very precise level just seeing your body structure. In that science, they say the person who is very clear about the concept of Maya, his eyes will be so shining and it will be just radiating as if he will jump out of that eyes. As if he will just, when he looks at you, you can see very clearly, feel very clearly, he is looking directly into you. He is not just looking you, he is looking into you. Many times, you can't bear the look of the master. You will turn your face away. You will turn, you can't. Because his eyes will be shining. It will be penetrating. If you understand this one truth, Maya, whatever you look, it will be very clear. It will not have the mist of fear and greed. Nobody can exploit you easily. If you had any big failure in your business, in your relationships, sit and see. You must have been waiting with your dreams to achieve economical success, and that guy would have come and given you a beautiful, nice castle in the air, and you are sold and made the wrong decisions. Same way you would have been sitting with all the fantasies. The other person came and promised almost that he or she is going to make the whole thing into reality, and you are sold. Unless you are ready to get cheated, nobody can cheat you. Without your active cooperation, you can't be given suffering. Understand? I am not even saying without your passive cooperation. Without your active cooperation, nobody can bring suffering to you. This one understanding, Maya, will liberate you so much. Nobody can bring suffering to you. Nobody can bring depression to you. When somebody comes and sits in front of you, you know whether this guy is going to do some business with me, or he is going to save for me or shave me. You will understand. In India, shaving means the cheating. In colloquial way, it is used for cheating. He is going to save you or shave you, you will know very clearly. You can't be exploited. Words cannot build big castles in front of your eyes, because the depth of clarity will be more. Depth of clarity will be more. Any society which is created based on this great understanding will radiate so much of energy, so much of clarity, so much of joy. Let me just explain this concept of time, how in the dream what you experience, length, breadth, depth, time, space, is made of the same stuff in which this world stuffs are made. In the waking state, what all is your experience? The waking state is experienced by you in these dimensions only. Length, breadth, depth, and time and space. The dream state also is experienced by you in the same space. Length, breadth, depth, time and space. Both are made same stuff. Means both are equally illusory. Let me analyze this question. If I analyze this one question, whenever we come back to dream state, whenever we come back to the waking state, this is same. But whenever we go back to dream state, it is not same. Maybe because of this, we can say dream is a dream and waking state is a reality. No. Understand one truth. What you think as time is nothing but projection of your mind. Is nothing but projection of your mind. One example, very subtle example, carefully you need to understand. Sometime in one night dream itself, you will dream your 10-12 years of life. You will start from your college. By the time next day morning you come out of the sleep, you would have finished all your marriage, kids and everything. Something like 1 decade you would have lived one overnight. Am I right? How many of you have experienced like this sometime? Means 10 years of your life you have lived in 10 hours. Am I right? But when you are living in the dream itself, you don't think, you don't feel you are doing fast forward. Do you feel? No. When you are living in the dream state, you don't feel you are doing fast forward. You are very clear you are living your 10-year life. But when you wake up, suddenly you realize you spent only 10 hours. You spent only 10 hours. You have not wasted 10 years. Understand? Same way, any moment you may wake up and feel You have not spent on the planet Earth 70 years. It was only 7 hours. One more thing. Just 10-hour dream. You lived 10-year life. Let me give you a small diagram. Maybe that can give you more clear understanding. What's yesterday? Date? Yesterday was 10th May. So let us understand, between 9th May to 10th May, this is 10th May. This 10 hours, you dreamed as if you lived 1 decade, 10 years. You dream in this 10 hours itself, you dream as if you are studying your college, and in that dream itself you fall asleep for a few days and come back. Am I right? Because whole 10 years you can't be just without falling asleep. You are living a regular life. According to you, in the dream, see, in this 10 years, here you have lived 10 years. "10 years in 10 hours. Many times you go to college and come back, fall asleep. Again you live like this, like this, like this. Then you get married, then starts the life, no hell or anything, whatever. Anything. You see, the life or whatever you call starts. In this, understand now an important thing. In this 10 years of life, in one continuous dream, from 9th night to 10th morning, you lived 10 years life. Many times you would have fallen asleep and come back. Whenever you come back, you are with the same identity. Am I right? Within this dream, whenever you come back, you are with the same identity. Am I right? You are able to understand? You are with the same identity. That is why from college you go to the next step, next step, next step, next step. So within this dream, whenever you come back, you are with the same identity. So whenever you come back, you having same identity or lifestyle cannot be the scale to prove it is reality. Within this dream, for example, all throughout 10 years, you can't be without falling asleep. Am I right? Your 10-year dream cannot be a continuous scene. It will be only break with breaks. So naturally in these breaks you fall asleep and come back. So when you fall asleep and come back, this same dream only continues. Am I right? It means just falling asleep and coming back and finding the same bank balance and the car and the wife does not mean you are in reality. Any doubts? Are you very clear now? I think this slide, you are able to see this side? Remove this slide, Bhaktananda. Oh, I think they are not able to see. Alright, I think 2-3 of you can come this way. Come away this area. Shiv, Bhaktananda, leave it. See, it's a very important understanding. We call this as a Chaniga. In Sanskrit, in the traditional way, we call this as a Chaniga. It's a very deep understanding. This understanding can lead to such a sharp analysis about your life. You will have clarity in so many things. In so many things you will have clarity. One thing, to tell you honestly, if you understand everything is Maya, you will not renounce actually. You will live with everything without getting disturbed. That's the truth. That is the truth. All the great enlightened masters are great monasteries, big monasteries which are teaching the great truth Maya. They all live with so much of wealth. You should know one fact, 72% of the India's gold is sitting inside the temples and monasteries. If India has got 100 kg gold, 72% is sitting inside their temples and monasteries. Only in South India there are 700 temples which has got golden tower. 700 temples, golden tower. Here I was surprised when I saw people wearing small golden jewelries. 1 gram, 2 gram. When you understand the reality or the truth of Maya, it's not that you will escape from the wealth. And I am not even asking you to escape from the wealth. You will have honest respect for the outer world, but you will never be caught, you will never internalize it. You will never suffer for it. You will never suffer because of it. See, in the 10 hours of one night, you dream 10 years. 10-year life cannot be at a stretch one scene. There will be always a break. You may have a scene, first some scene that you as if you are going to college and studying. Suddenly after a small gap, there will be one more scene, you are writing your exams. Sometime after a few seconds of break, you don't even know few seconds or even few hours, because sometime you will finish 70% of the dream in first 20 minutes and 8 hours gap and the last half an hour you will finish other 30% of the dream. You won't even know. There will be some gap. Then you come back and decide for getting married. Then you come back and decide for next decision of having kids or anything. There's one liner. For 18 years, me and my wife were the happiest people. The other guy asked, then what happened? We both met each other. So, something like this may happen in your life. Something like this may come up. Understand, every time when you fall asleep, give a break and come back, you are having the same identity. You are having the same house, same car, same bank balance, same name, same personality. Am I right? So, coming back and having the same personality or identity or assets does not mean you are in reality, because in dream state also this happens. Just like this 10-year dream is done in 10 hours, there may be a different calendar. Your 70 years, something like a 1950, according to your calendar, to 2020. This can be 7 hours for somebody. You understand? Just like this 10 years which you had in the dream is 10 hours in a different state. Every possibility, your 70 year can be 7 hours if you are in different state. If you are in different space. In Sanskrit, we call this as a chaniga, means if the number of thoughts is more, you will feel as if you are living more time. One example, this will completely make you understand. If you are sitting with somebody whom you really love, feeling in tune, feeling connected, his dress is not created for materialistic life. It's created for, even if you want to hold something you can't hold. If you are sitting with somebody with whom you are completely in tune, you will not even know how many hours passed. Suddenly you will realize, oh God, 3-4 hours over. What happened? If you are sitting with somebody with whom you don't feel connected, every 5 minutes what will you do? Not only you will see the watch, you will really suspect that whether watch has stopped or not. I think watch has stopped. It's not moving. What is going on? If the number of thoughts is more, you will feel as if you have had too much of time. That is why in Vedic tradition, the unit of time is not second, it is called kshana. Understand? According to Western tradition, the chronological time is calculated with the unit second. Means the unit, this is 1 second. In Vedic tradition, time is calculated by kshana. Kshana means gap between one thought and the other thought. According to Western calendar, your 1 second and my 1 second is equal, same. But according to Vedic calendar, your 1 kshana and my 1 kshana will be different. Time is not chronological, it is psychological. Gap between one thought and the other thought is kshana. In the dream state, you have too many number of thoughts. That is why you feel as if you lived long time. If the TPS, thoughts per second, is more, if the TPS is more, high TPS, that is why in the dream state you feel too much of time has been spent. Here medium TPS, that's why 10 years looks like 10 hours. In this 10 hours, waking states 10 hours, you finish 10 years of dream state. Because here TPS is more. Here TPS is less. If you bring your TPS much less, you will realize your 70 years is just 7 hours. That is why we say, for Devatas, for whom the TPS is less, our 1 year is 1 day for them. Our 1 year is 1 day for them. Still, if you know the Vedic calendar, 1 year of Manushya Loka is 1 day of Devaloka. That is why the Nataraja, the deity of the Devatas, will have only 6 puja in whole year. He is not worshipped according to human calendar. He is worshipped according to the divine calendar. Only 6 times in a year he will be worshipped. Means in human temples, every day 6 puja will happen. That is considered as a temple of Devatas. Only 6 puja will happen whole year. For us, 1 year is 1 day for Devatas because their TPS is very low. Low TPS. Just because when you get back, you see the same car, same body, same hairstyle, same lifestyle, it does not mean you are in reality. This can happen to you even while you are in dream. Understand? Only when you come to the better state, means when you bring your TPS down, if your TPS becomes more, even in the waking state you will have hallucinations, the daydreaming. TPS becoming more only creates too much of dreams. If the TPS is less, you will be in waking state. You will be in waking state. If you bring the TPS much lower, you will be in Samadhi state, what we call Turiya. Samadhi or Turiya. Only if you bring your TPS down, you will understand the reality. See, when you come down to this TPS, means the Jagrat state only, you will realize the dream state was not reality. If you are in dream, will you realize that it is not reality? No. You are going through everything same. You respond to everything. You have a nightmare. You have all problems. Whether you are greed or fear, you respond to it. It was completely real. 4D experience. Not even 3D, 4D. The Universal Studio, they rock your chair, na? They give you that 4D experience. It was a 4D experience. It was 4D experience. Only when you come down, only when your TPS is brought down, in the Jagrat state, you understand dream state was illusion. It was Maya. So same way, to understand this is Maya, bring your TPS down. Come down. Come to the Turiya state. Suddenly you will realize this is also Maya. One more thing, this very logical understanding that this is also Maya will encourage you to bring your TPS down. Because why your TPS is not coming down? All these things are occupying your inner space. Whatever you are seeing in the 70 years, whatever you are seeing in the dream state was occupying your mind in the dream. That is why you are never able to experience it as dream. In the dream, maybe we can say 1000 TPS. For example only, I don't know whether it is really 1000, because sometimes it can be 100,000. And waking state, maybe you can say 100 TPS. Samadhi, zero TPS. Only in this state you will understand this is illusion. Same way, only in this state you will understand this is illusion. As on now, your inner space is too much occupied by all these things. All you see in the waking state. That is why you are never allowed to go into this state. One more thing, it is like a vicious circle. As long as you are enjoying the dream, you will never get out of it. As long as you are enjoying, you won't get out. Only when you get out, you will realize it is just a dream. As long as you are enjoying waking state, you won't get out. Unless you get out, you will not understand it is a illusion. It is an illusion. It's like a vicious circle. You are caught in the vicious circle. Now Shiva comes to help us. Shiva's technique, the technique or method which he is teaching, now he is coming. How to get out of this state? See, very subtle, important point. Whether you are in the dream state or waking state or samadhi state, the dreamer is same. Whether you are seeing 1000 TPS dream or 100 TPS dream or 0 TPS feeling, dreamer is same. Whenever your attention is removed from the seen to the seer, you come to the next step, you wake up. Whenever your attention is diverted from seen to the seer, you wake up. In the dream state, you can see in your life any strong dream, means which you can't handle. Too much of greed or too much of fear will put you into the seer. If your energy is turned from seen to the seer, you wake up from that state. Same way, in the waking state also, if your energy is turned from seen to the seer, you will wake up to samadhi state. This is the technique. This is the key. Turning your awareness from seen to the seer. When Shankara says whole world is Maya, illusion, he is giving you the technique. He is not telling you to go and break your home. No. It's after all illusion, why not break it? No. He is not telling you to break it. He is giving you the technique. He is giving you the technique. One person came and told me, Swamiji, after all everything is illusion, why not let's burn everything? I told, after all everything is illusion, why not maintain everything? Why should we burn? There is no need to be destructive. When Shankara says everything is illusion, he does not mean it is not there. He does not mean it is not there. He means put your awareness, attention, energy towards the seer, not towards the seen, towards the seer. Now let us read the Shiva Sutras, the Shiva's words. Illusions deceive, colors circumscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look, let you become Shiva. I have seen many people feeling frightened about this understanding of Maya. I have seen many people, they don't want to understand Maya. People come and complain to me, Swamiji, I have this problem, I have physical suffering, no money, so many complaints they tell. I tell them, please understand about this Maya. They tell me, no, you do healing, Swamiji, not all these things. No, they will come only for the darshan, exact that healing time. They don't want all this understanding, it's very difficult, you understand? It is very difficult to understand. I tell them, understand everything is Maya, you will come out of disease. You will get healed. There's a beautiful sutra in the yogic tradition. Understanding of Maya will balance all your nadis completely. Patanjali gives how to have different siddhis. He says, if you concentrate on particular part or particular points on particular objects, you will have different powers. He says very clearly, understanding about this concept or truth of Maya will balance your whole body and mind. He says, he gives this technique for physical healing. Even I was shocked. How can, because this can be used for enlightenment and just sitting and talking casually, nicely. That is what the so-called intellectuals do. This Mayavada, this concept of Maya, just like slot machines in this country everywhere, even in the airports they have. Just like that, this Maya concept is used so much, it has lost its significance. This Maya concept, people are used just for sitting, and it's more like a gambling. You sit and talk for entertainment. For entertainment, to do something. When you don't have anything to do, you do something. But Patanjali says it can heal your body and mind. Completely it can heal. Mahadeva gives very precise, sharp technique. Illusions deceive, colors circumscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look and become Shiva. Try just for next 10 days. I always tell people to try only for 10 days or a week, not more than that. Do not decide you will try for the whole life. You will never do it. No, never. I know. I am working with all kinds of seekers. I know it. Person who decides I'll meditate for my rest of my life, Swamiji, I know for sure he will be the dropout. No, you see, after the meditation program or lecture, they will be in a high mood. They come and tell me they will wear practically everything. Only one thing will be less, a small flag and my flag pole in the ears, and except that they will wear Rudraksha, Mala, bracelet, everything. And they will come and tell me, Swamiji, I am going to do 7 meditations from tomorrow. All 7 chakra. I tell them, no, don't do all those things. Start with 1. They tell me, what is this, Swamiji? You are discouraging me. I tell them, please decide just for next 7 days. They will tell, no, I am going to do all 7. I tell them, all right, what can be done? After 2 months, if somewhere I see them, I ask them, are you doing meditations? Oh, I have to start, Swamiji. You know, when I went back to my home, there were so many things to be done. My mother-in-law was there. My father-in-law has come. This was there, that was there. I'll start within a week, Swamiji. Never decide for whole life. Just decide for next 10 days, because only that is your whole life. Understand? More than 10 days or a week you don't have. Do not think if you are 50, you have some 30-40 years in front of you. You may be having, yes, you have the life. I'm not saying you don't have future. You have. But you can't imagine or plan for more than 10-15 days. Anything else, any other plan will get updated. If it is not getting updated, you are dead. It will stop getting updated only if you are dead. So please plan just for 7 days or 10 days, not more than that. Next 10 days, decide clearly. Constantly you will remember, whatever is seen is illusion, seer is the only reality. Understand? I am not even asking you to imagine, just remember. Because Shiva says, these techniques are self-remembrance. Atma Smarana. Not even Atma Dhyana. No. You can't meditate on anything which you have not experienced. No. I am not asking you to meditate. I am asking you to remember. Remember, whatever is seen is illusion. Only the seer is reality. Whenever you remember, put your awareness, bring your awareness back to the seer. To the seer. Not towards the seen. Just this one thing. At least 100 times you will come back to seer every day, I tell you. Because I have done all these calculations. I have studied a lot with so many different kinds of human minds. At least 100 times you will come back to the seer. Every time you come back to the seer, the seer's frequency gets increased, means your TPS comes down. It's like your frequency increases and the world's frequency, the scene frequency comes down. Whenever Jiva becomes stronger, Jagat becomes weaker. When you are lost in Jagat world, Jiva will become weak. When Jiva becomes strong, when your self becomes strong, the world, Jagat will be lost. That is why we say, the person who is enjoying in Atma, in the self, will not be bothered, touched by the scene. At least 100 times you will remember, the seer is the reality. 10 days enough, you will have that click. At one point, really you will feel, God, I was too much bothering unnecessarily about things which are not really worthy. You will have that deep inner healing, that glimpse for few moments. That is enough, you are done. If you experience that inner healing for few moments, enough. After that, forget about it. You don't have to remember. The technique will remember you. Till you experience that inner healing, you need to remember the seer is reality. Only once you experience that inner healing, you will see all your wounds are healed. You are completely at ease with yourself, restful with yourself. J. Krishnamurti calls this as a restful awareness. Zen, they call this as a satori. Ramana Maharshi calls Atma Spurana. Ramakrishna calls first experience of God. Bhava Samadhi. Different names. I call that as inner healing. Glimpse of Nithyananda. Suddenly you will see the seer is more strong, his frequency has become higher than the seen. You will see, you can completely relax within you. You will feel you were a fool being too much tortured by things which is not really the truth. You will feel the same relief which you will feel if you realize it was just a rope. It is just a rope, not a snake. There will be tremendous relief. Oh God, I thought it's a snake. Sometime you will even pass one or two in that fear. When you realize, oh God, it is just a rope. I thought it's a snake. What relief you will feel dropping off your shoulder, completely in relaxation, utter relaxation. That same thing will happen when you understand the seer's frequency is more than the seen. Not just as a thought or intellectual understanding. It will be just a click, an experience. All you need to do, come back to the seer. Every time you remember, just for 10 days, not more than that. I assure you will have at least one glimpse. If you are too much worried about your physical health, suddenly you will realize nothing to be bothered. If you are too much worried about your family, suddenly you will realize nothing to be bothered. If you are too much worried about your business or mind or depression, suddenly you don't need to be consoled. You don't need to give courage to yourself. Suddenly courage will express in you. There will be some moments, even if you want to get depressed, you will not be able to. That is what I call inner healing. The glimpses of inner healing. That is what I call the glimpses of inner healing. In Lalita Sahasranama, there is a beautiful word. Chidaknigunda Sambhudayai. means the conscious fire who happened in the conscious fire. You will become Chidagnigunda Sambhudayai. Means the conscious fire. You will catch that conscious fire. You will see you are not able to depress yourself. The inner healing, it is so beautiful, it is such wonderful feeling. Suddenly you will see, God, I was wasting too much time in unnecessary things. The frequency of the seer is more stronger than the seen. And if you start residing in that same state, the seen cannot disturb you, because you will realize you are the seer. The screen cannot be disturbed by the projected scenes. In the scene may be like a flood or a tornado or a wildfire, but the screen will never catch fire just by the scene being projected on it. Just because you project a scene of a wildfire on the screen, you think the screen is going to burn. No. You will realize the seer is not affected by the scene. That inner healing, glimpse of Nithyananda, is the result expected by this technique. This very intellectual understanding is enough. Just start with this clarity. Whenever you remember, even while driving, I am not asking you to close your eyes, no. Even while sitting or eating, just see, understand, the moment you see the seer is more true than the seen, your eyes will become empty. Ramakrishna says beautifully, the bird which is sitting on its egg and hatching, you will see an empty look in that eyes. The eyes may be open, but it will not be looking at anything outside particular. It will be just open, but there is no information taken through that eyes are getting processed inside. A yogi's eyes will be like that. If you are sitting, clearly putting your awareness on the seer is more clear or stronger, aware than the seen. Your eyes may be open, but no information will go inside and get processed, or response will be happening. You will be just sitting with the seer. Just sitting with the seer is meditation. Being with the seer is meditation. Hooked or being caught, connected to the seer is enlightenment. Let you all connect with the seer, achieve the state of Shiva, experience and radiate the eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you.
स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे। 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 ईक्षणात्रयविध्वंसं गुणावस्थाविवर्जितं सर्वदेवं सर्वमदं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे। ईक्षणात्रयविध्वंसं गुणावस्थाविवर्जितं सर्वदेवं सर्वमदं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे। ईक्षणात्रयविध्वंसं गुणावस्थाविवर्जितं सर्वदेवं सर्वमदं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे। ईक्षणात्रयविध्वंसं
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Welcome you all with my love and respects. Before entering into the sutras, today's aphorism, I want all of you to just sit for a few seconds, sit straight and just prepare yourself, because the today's subject is my very favorite subject. Maybe for a few seconds, you can close your eyes and pray to Mahadeva, Shiva, and the tradition of enlightened masters, enlightened beings, to give us this understanding. Because this understanding about which I am going to talk gave me the courage to leave the home. So take few seconds. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Yes. Usually this stotra is chanted just to correct your voice and tone. But the moment I remember the Guru Parampara, the tradition of masters, my voice is choked. Today's subject is Maya. The content is Maya. Very important word in our spiritual tradition. Very important thing to be understood for anybody who wants to live the life blissfully. Anybody who wants to live basic understanding Actually, many times, the young age I used to think I should leave the home, go around, live a sannyas life, learning and working towards enlightenment. But always that, why today, why not tomorrow? Little later, that's okay. What is the urgency to take the jump immediately? That always used to come and I was always postponing. The decision was never made. It was just going. Suddenly, one day, when I was reading one of the Shankara's work on this Maya, somehow the concept clicked. As I was telling day before yesterday, the clicking should happen. Just reading or learning also won't help. Sometimes that click happens. You understand much more than what is written in the book. You see, if you are just reading and understanding the meaning of all the words according to the Oxford Dictionary, it is reading. Suddenly, sometime, the understanding which comes from that words opens up a new door and all your doubts starts disappearing. The whole puzzle falls in tune. Everything suddenly appears more clear. That click has to happen. That click happened in me when I studied the truth, that idea of Maya. The moment the click happened, I was ready not only to leave the house, decided to live like a Shankara. So the first place I ran away is the place where Shankara became enlightened. It's called Omkareshwar, where Shankara met his master, Govindapada, in a cave. But of course, I was too small boy. I didn't think that there will be nobody in that cave. Now, actually, when I understood that Maya, the concept of Maya, it gave me so much of joy and courage to do anything. I decided I will live like a Shankara. Shankara left the home at the age of 7 and wandered and reached Omkareshwar, Madhya Pradesh, on the banks of Narmada. He met his guru, Govindapada, in a cave, and by his grace and a meditation, he became enlightened on the banks of Narmada. So I was thinking, at least somebody from Shankara's lineage will be sitting in that cave. So I can go and catch them and become enlightened. Maybe around the age of 15. So I left the home, went and straight inquired about that Omkareshwar and reached that place. Of course, the cave was empty. Only his murti his statue is there. Even though it was shocking in the initial level, that cave is empty, nobody is there to teach. Somehow, this one understanding of Maya gave so much courage to continue my practice. Stayed there for some time, and of course, because there is nobody else to guide, I started wandering and even came back to the native place once, and then, of course, my wandering continued, my search, everything continued. But this one understanding gave me such big push. It opened a big door in me. Today, the moment I saw the sutra, I was so filled with a joy. Oh God, today there is going to be a wonderful subject. Usually before coming to the class only, I'll just see the sutra. What is today's sutra? The moment I saw the sutra, I was filled with joy and energy, because I am trying to reproduce the same understanding and experience which happened in me. Understand, there is every possibility you will catch the glimpse. I am not telling you will run away from a home. No. I am not saying you will leave your home or go to Omkareshwar. No. You will have the same energy and excitement and liberation, the mood of liberation, when you realize this truth. See, I had tremendous energy to do what I want to do further in my life. So you will also have the same tremendous energy when you understand this truth about Maya. When you understand the truth about this Maya. So let's enter into the Mahadeva's Sutra, Mahadeva's aphorism. Let me read the translation. Illusions deceive, colors subscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look and become Shiva. The word Maya cannot be translated into English. Usually the word Maya is translated as illusion in English. Illusion is not the right word. No. Illusion is not the right word. Thinking the lesser reality as the higher reality is what we call Maya. Understand? If you think your dreams are reality, you are caught in Maya. If you think this is your ultimate reality, you are caught in Maya. That's all. This is not illusion. What you are seeing, you can't say this is illusion. No. This is not ultimate. Your understanding this is ultimate is illusion. Vivekananda says beautifully, when he was given the first experience by Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna touched him and gave him the first experience. When enlightened masters touch you, the downloading of the enlightened software can happen in you. Straight away they can download that software into you.
Haridashva sahasrarchi sapta saptirmarichiman Timironmattan shambhutvishta martanda anshuman
Koti surya swarupinam anandaganta ishwaram Bhakta hridaya nivasinam Nithyanandam namostude Koti surya swarupinam anandaganta ishwaram Bhakta hridaya nivasinam Nithyanandam namostude
Hiranyagarbha shishiraga Stapano bhaskaro ravihi Agnigarbo adide putra Shankar shishiranaşanaha
Koti surya swarupinam anandaganta ishwaram Bhakta hridaya nivasinam Nithyanandam namostude. भक्तहृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
सवसाध्य ह्यश्विनौ मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अतिदे पुत्र शङ्कर शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वोदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
सवसाध्या ह्यश्विनौ मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अदिदे पुत्र शङ्कः शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते भक्तहृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
सवसाध्या ह्यश्विनो मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अदिते पुत्र शङ्कः शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते नित्यहृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
ह्यश्विनौ मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्त सप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अतिदे पुत्र शङ्कः शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते हृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
सवसाध्य ह्यश्विनौ मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अतिदे पुत्र शङ्कः शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते हृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विभस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको हेश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदकालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
साध्या ह्यश्विनौ मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजाप्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सखशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भो अतिदे पुत्र शङ्कर शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते।